It's no surprise if you've paid attention to my channel the last few years that I'm a big fan of Cartoon Network. And while many fans have fallen off as they've gotten older, or as the priorities of the network changed, I stuck around for the most part, finding and trying any new show that may pop up to show support for the next generation of cartoon makers. Back in 2017, Cartoon Network was in an odd place. While Teen Titans Go was still very much a major tentpole for the network, they were still attempting to find that next big show. With regular show having just wrapped with an amazing series finale, it was time to take a chance with something new. And luckily, something would come out from another show that was just about to start its own endgame. A show that had a lot of potential and a lot of love and care put into it, but was an unfortunate victim of the system that has hurt many a show like it in the past. This is OKKO, Let's Be Heroes. The story of OKKO Let's Be Heroes starts with its creator, Ian Jones-Quartey. A cartoonist for many years before working for Cartoon Network, he found his first claim to fame creating a webcomic called RPG World in the year 2000, which was a webcomic parodying various aspects of RPGs like Final Fantasy, which was the style at the time. The comic would run for a few years and even win Ian a Web Cartoonist Choice Award in 2001 and 2002. In 2007, he would team with YouTuber Jim Gristle to co-create a web cartoon following a comedy hip-hop duo, Knock Force.
Look! Try out for Magical Brooklyn's best rap group. Win $100,000! And a dirt bike!
That dirt bike must be worth $10 million! Let's do it!
He would finally get his foot in the door at Cartoon Network with his first job on Venture Brothers. He would soon work his way to being a storyboard supervisor on Adventure Time, and later help co-develop Steven Universe with his future partner, Rebecca Sugar. Around this time, he would also get his first professional voice acting gig in the cartoon hangover show Bravest Warriors, voicing the character Wallow.
My dad sent my Pony Lord's Battle Aquarium? I haven't seen this in a hella fortnight.
While working on Adventure Time, he would pitch his idea for a show, and would submit a pilot for it along with a few others as part of Super Short Series in 2013. The short was named Lakewood Plaza Turbo.
In the year 21X, Lord Boxman opened a store to arm his robot horde, but the heroes of Lakewood Plaza
are ready to fight! K.O. Rad and Enid are in battle mode. Once you keep the bag, I still the yellow explode. Power up and fight, let's watch an episode of Lakewood Plaza Turbo!
Lakewood Plaza Turbo as a pilot shows that many of the concepts that would eventually show up in the first show were already pretty concrete to start. Funnily, many of the side characters in the pilot would not change design-wise when they made their way to the full show, but the main three would still have a bit to go, especially in the nose area. The pilot would see a proto-KO, Enid and Rad, working at Gar's Bodega, a store in the titular Lakewood Plaza Turbo, a plaza that sells supplies to heroes, but across the street is Boxmoor, a store that sells supplies to villains. The pilot would set up the basic concept of the show, heroes and villains competing against each other in the plaza, while also highlighting the budding hero's journey of the true main character, KO, as he learns valuable life lessons on his quest to become a great hero. Originally, the pilot was a bit longer, including a fight with a proto-Boxmore himself, but it had to be cut down to match the standard short size Cartoon Network required. It also included a reference to Chris Chan and his Sonichu creation, before later being cut as well. The pilot would clearly make a good impression on the higher-ups at Cartoon Network, because it would be developed right away, not as a show at first, but as a fully fledged mobile game.
In the year 21X, Lord Boxman opened a store to arm his robot horde. But these heroes
are ready to fight.
slay OKKO Lakewood Plaza Turbo and help KO and his friends defend their favorite mini-mall.
Evil can't win!
Use your special abilities and power moves.
Power
Fight
Fist!
the good fight.
My soul burns with justice!
Play OKKO today. Available for free on your mobile device. Message and data rates may apply. Must be 18 years or older or have permission from a parent or guardian.
The mobile game, now titled OKKO Lakewood Plaza Turbo, would further develop the concept and introduce even more elements to make it closer to the show that was just around the corner. The game itself would be simple but expansive, seeing the heroes of Lakewood Plaza Turbo infected by a power tonic that turns them evil. In an effort to protect the plaza, its owner, Mr. Gar, blows it up and sends the infected heroes flying to various locations. You, as KO, need to find these heroes, cure them of their evil, and help rebuild the plaza, all while discovering who was behind the tonic to begin with. The game was a classic side-scrolling beat-em-up, with enemies fashioned after the Boxmore robots that would show up later in the show. It would also show us a new named residents of the plaza, who were either teased in the pilot or were completely new, like Red Action, Brandon, and a real Magic Skeleton. Although they would be voiced, most would not have the same voice actors that they would end up having in the show. We would also get our first look at Lord Boxman, who got cut from the pilot. Although the game is not available to play now, with Cartoon Network moving away from apps altogether, it would not be long until a full series was greenlit, along with a slew of other shows in 2017.
This is me. KO! Ultimate Hero!
KO! We got a trail of slime in aisle 3, 4, 5, every aisle, KO!
Before the show would hit the network proper, it would get a few mini-sodes on the Cartoon Network YouTube page to give fans a sneak peek at what to expect from the show, each animated by a different studio, including anime studio Science Saru, who at the time of this writing is currently making waves in animation with the recent adaptation of Dan Da Dan.
My mom runs a dojo, and she gives me the lowdown on the greatest fighting moves. Here you go, my little dumbbell. Thanks, Mommy.
And on August 1st, 2017, OKKO Let's Be Heroes would premiere, with 6 episodes airing on day 1.
Destination KO, Lakewood Plaza Turbo!
Since the show has finally reached its final form, let's take a closer look at the elements of the show itself. Since there is a lot to talk about, OKKO is a show filled with amazing characters, voiced by an even better cast of voice actors. Just looking at KO himself brings up an interesting history. The titular KO is a young boy starting his first day working at Lakewood Plaza Turbo, specifically at Gar's Bodega. His dream is to become the greatest hero of all time, and in fact idolizes heroes, even being an obsessive collector of what are known as POW cards, an in-universe trading card series that highlights the different heroes and villains of the world, showing their stats and their power level, among other things. KO was originally voiced, as early as the pilot and mobile game, by Stephanie Nadolny, who fans will surely recognize as the voice of Kid Goku and Gohan in the original Funimation dubs of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z.
Lakewood Plaza Turbo smells bah. Smells bah?
She's also recently come back and returned to voice Kid Goku in the new dub of Dragon Ball Daima. Her voicing KO from the start was a clear sign of the inspiration that Ian used for the show. However, Stephanie would eventually get replaced for the role, but she would voice KO for the pilot, minisodes, the mobile game, and the first few episodes of the series proper.
Maybe Mr. Gar actually wants us to go in his office for training purposes. I mean, We could do our job better if we knew more about him. We could even make him proud.
However, she would eventually be replaced by Courtney Taylor, who would voice KO and a few other characters for the rest of the show.
Man, I love helping people. I can't understand why Enid doesn't like it. Maybe when she hears about how rewarding my day was, she'll change her mind.
Courtney is known for many roles, but none more than Jack from the Mass Effect series. KO is a lovable, naive mama's boy who works hard at whatever he thinks will get him closer to his goal of being a hero. Heroing being in his blood thanks to his mom, Carol.
Come on, Gar, just give him the job.
Okay, fine.
I appreciate it. Congratulations, sweetie! I'll meet you in the car.
Carol, KO's mom, of course, raises her son on her own after the mysterious death of KO's father, which is a mystery for much of the series. She also runs the dojo in the plaza.
Tell me that's your boy. Hey, oh, you remember Gertie, Ginger, and Gladys, don't you? Aww. Of course. How could I forget my mom's best students?
She was portrayed in the pilot, mobile game, and shorts as a sort of master figure for KO, who would teach him new moves, and although it's clear Carol taught KO much of what she knows about fighting, it doesn't come up as much in the show proper.
Okay, I'm ready. That's my boy, keep it up!
Carol is voiced by Kate Flannery, who many fans' moms may know as Meredith from The Office. As mentioned, KO works in Gar's bodega with his fellow workmates, Rad and Enid.
The thing about magazines is, they're not free, right?
Yep, that's the thing about magazines.
But the free samples inside the magazines are totally free.
Rad, short for Radicles, is an alien stock boy from Planet X, with the power to move things and project energy with his mind. He's a bit arrogant and full of himself, but has a clear soft side to him.
I don't know. Rad, what's wrong with you?
Nothing.
He's voiced by series creator Ian himself, who also voices other characters on the show, including reoccurring Boxmore bot, Daryl.
Daddy, may we attend dinner?
No.
Daddy, may I wear my costume?
What? No! Wrap it up!
Enid is the woman of the register, a kind of Squidward type figure in that she wishes she was anywhere else but there. But while she seems to have a dislike for any and all customers, she does clearly care about her friends and coworkers, especially KO.
See? Helping people feels good, right?
All right. I guess it feels a little good.
Yay! I helped Enid!
KO, you're a little nut.
She changed the most from the pilot to the show itself. While in the show itself, she is sort of a slacker type who doesn't really care about her job and is a bit of a goof-off, she's a bit more hard-nosed in the pilot, reprimanding Rad, seeming to be ready to follow any orders that her boss gives, and even complaining about how the others don't listen.
I'm gonna go rent a power washer to clean that mess. Find the graffiti wiener!
10-4, boss.
Not me, though. 3:45. I'm on break.
Radicals, come on, we have a mission.
Look, they never listen.
Make them listen!
Enid also has the specialty of having powers of both a witch and a ninja, being able to perform several types of jutsu and magic arts thanks to her family lineage. She is voiced in the show by Ashley Birch, who many may recognize as Chloe from Life is Strange, but she's been making a name for herself in voice acting lately and shows her range in a lot of shows, voicing many other characters on the show, such as Punching Judy, Miss Mummy, and Rippy Roo.
Hands-free hot dog! Hands-free hot dog!
Hold on, duty calls. Did you find everything you needed? Great, that'll be $8.99. Thanks for shopping at Gar's Buy. Okay, now, as I was saying.
Despite these changes, they all work under the watchful eye of their boss, Mr. Gar, owner of Gar's Bodega and the plaza as a whole.
Can I pay with a check? I also have a coupon. Hurry! I've got to go home and feed my cat!
A former pro hero on the same team as Carol, he was kicked out of the team after he was blamed for the death of the hero Laser Blast. So he roamed the land searching for a purpose before he was given the task to protect a valuable tree which produces an energy source known as glorbs. Mr. Gar built the plaza on top of the tree in order to better protect it and support the hero community who are not part of some fancy super teams like the one he was kicked out of. He also has a little crush on KO's mom.
Carol, you are, I'm not,
Right.
Mr. Gar is voiced by David Herman, which is a name you may not have heard, but I'm sure you have not watched an animated show in the last decade that did not have his voice somewhere in it.
Don't just lay there impressed! Drop it and give me 20!
20 what, sir?
20... everything!
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
He's also voices other characters like Boxmore Bot Jethro and Brandon, another hero working at the plaza.
Speak for yourself. Despite the couple of wackos, this place rules. Plus, it's like the easiest job in the world.
Is it though?
Speaking of, there are a ton of other reoccurring heroes that pop up, shop, and work at the plaza. I mentioned Brandon, who works at the local frame shop, with his bro, a real magic skeleton, and yes, that is his actual full name, but you can call him RMS for short.
New job?
Yep. And with the extra 25 pennies a week, it'll only take me like 2,000 years to become a millionaire. And once I have that much money, I'll be able to do the things I always dreamed of.
There you go.
Just as a side note, RMS is voiced by Ben Jones, a creator who has worked on many different projects, and has done a few voices here and there, including Problem Solvers, and one of my favorite underrated shows, Stone Quackers. Not entirely relevant, I just like talking about Stone Quackers. Anyway, other residents include Red Action, who starts as a stereotypical teen bully character, which is later revealed to be part of a Super Sentai-like team from the future.
Green guns!
Black strategy.
And yellow technique! Blue power! The Hue Troop! It's who we are!
What the heck is this? Rogue performance artist.
Enid also has a massive crush on her, which they develop on a lot.
Enid, as if she'd ever want to hang out with you. Wait, what? How? Why? Hey,
It's sort of implied that she works at the plaza's video store based on the mobile game, but she's never shown actually working or doing a job of any kind, so who knows. And that's just scratching the surface of the amount of characters this show has to offer. Many we will meet along the way as we go through the show. Speaking of, the first 2 episodes focuses on KO getting his new job and meeting and befriending his co-workers. This starts with KO biting off a little more than he can chew and battling an attacking Boxmore bot way above his level.
What happened?
Jeez, where do I start with this? Well, okay. See that robot over there with the cannon and the big fist? Well, first, you tried to block his punch, but he just knocked your flame gauntlets into your face, which knocked you out. As you fell back, you tripped over your beach towel and fell butt first into your lightning nachos, which shocked you backwards into this here wall. It's actually pretty funny.
But Enid and Rad come to the rescue, and the trio become the plaza's de facto guardians against the constant attack from the Boxmore factory across the street.
First comes Enid!
Then comes Radicles!
Then comes KO!
Ah, dag it.
But who runs Boxmore, you may ask? Who is sending all these robots? None other than Lord Boxman.
Oh, hey, Dad. I'm back.
And
I failed you.
no, you failed me.
The evil genius is a spirit of other evil scientists of the past, like Eggman, Dr. Giro, and Dr. Wily, but who has a little chicken hand for some reason.
Brilliant introduction, Raymond. So very rude.
Thank you, Coach Boxman. Of course it was brilliant. You are, after all, the master engineer behind this vessel of pure athleticism.
And has an absolutely irrational hatred for the plaza and the love and friendship that it encourages.
The most logical thing to do is to simply ignore it.
I can't simply ignore it. I can't even stand knowing it's there. I can't. Oh, it's just.
Because of this, he's made it his life's mission to destroy the plaza, with the help of his robot children, Daryl, Shannon, Jethro, Raymond, Ernesto, and Michaela. Lord Boxmore is one of my favorite elements of the show, mostly because he's voiced by legendary voice actor Jim Cummings.
Too easy. No worries, Boxman. I have zero interest in that
hideous plaza. I think I'll just strap myself down, just in case.
Many early episodes of Season 1 boil down a lot to villain of the week scenarios. Sometimes the robots won't be a major issue of the episode, but they show up in some capacity to battle. But the episodes also revolve around KO learning a valuable lesson on his journey to become a hero. For example, the episode You're a Level 100, which sees KO finally getting his own POW card after doing a few heroic acts around the plaza. However, due to an error when printing the card, it lists his power level as 100.
Did you say you're level 100?
Level 100?
100?
Whoa!
KO, being young and dumb, thinks this is real, and so does the rest of the plaza, giving KO a big head.
KO, can I have your autograph?
Sure, kid. Wow, being level 100 is so cool. Everyone loves me and I feel so important. I can't wait to put my amazing skills to the test against some dastardly foe.
Which causes him to bite off, again, more than he can chew, when Lord Boxman debuts a mega version of Daryl, which has the level -100, which is the same as a hero level 100. Villains are ranked with negative numbers. KO is of course beaten easily, but he quickly realizes that every hero in the plaza adds up to being level 100. So with all their powers combined, the plaza residents take down the Mega Daryl together. Another early example would be KO taking a special new item sold in the bodega that makes him grow into a giant, after being made fun of earlier for being too short.
I am not cleaning this up.
Hi, Enid! I'm big now! Oops.
This would cause much more problems for the plaza, and KO learns that he is much more useful as his old self and shrinks even smaller to save the day.
I can't find anything on extracting tiny children from storm drains. Man, what's the internet even good for?
Whoa.
There's my boy.
Mom, I finally took your advice, and it really paid off.
KO also meets new friends along the way, like fan favorite character Dendy.
You called for my assistance, KO?
Dendy!
A female Kappa classmate of KO's who asks him to help him in repairing her hack pack, although it turns out she's just using him to try to figure out what it means to be a hero.
Let me just grab a coin. No! My moth collection!
She does feel bad about using him and getting into danger time and time again, but KO forgives her, and they bond over their shared love of POW cards and become friends.
Professor Venomous, I've only ever seen this card online.
No, KO. It is right there in your hand.
Oh, I guess you're right.
Dendy is voiced by Melissa Fawn, voice of Edward from Cowboy Bebop, and Gaz of Invader Zim fame.
Mr. Gar here is overcompensating for his receding hairline with muscles.
Hey!
Rad is pretending to be super macho, even though he's a big softie.
That's not true!
We have a cleaning apparatus with a tacky design. Or perhaps, is it how Enid acts super cool because she's internally struggling with her identity?
Absolutely not!
During the season, we would get many such episodes where we would get a chance to focus on not just the main three, but all the different residents of the plaza, like the Plaza Olympics, where, due to a poorly timed bathroom break, KO ends up teaming up with the two weakest plaza residents, Colwart and Potato, in the annual Plaza Olympics.
So, I guess this means we're teammates.
Yeah, I'll just...
A show of hero strength to earn the coveted key to the plaza. The stakes get even higher when the Boxmore bots join and try to take the plaza key for themselves. KO and his new team use their own strengths to win the whole thing and save the day.
There. Beautiful.
Simply incredible!
But along with this, we would also learn the history of some of the residents, especially KO's mom, Carol. In one of my favorite episodes, of which there are many, Know Your Mom, KO wants to get his mom the perfect gift for Mother's Day, but quickly realizes that he knows nothing about her, other than the fact that she's his mom.
Cooking breakfast, driving me to the plaza, and, running the dojo.
That sounds like stuff she does, KO, not stuff she likes.
Doing a little bit of snooping, he learns more about her former hero life, that she used to be part of a superhero organization, Point, as the hero, Silver Spark. During her hero days, she had a sort of arch-nemesis team, the Cactus Crew, a crew of cactus people. KO decides to contact one of the members of the crew, now a grandfather, and sets up a fake challenge from Silver Spark to him at the plaza. Succulentus would arrive to fight.
Silver Spark! What is the matter with you?
Succulentus is played by Korn frontman Jonathan Davis, and the fight is filled with many nu metal references.
Are you ready? Every step that I take is another mistake for you. I want to see you try to take a swing at me.
That and the fact that they talk about how long ago this stuff happened just makes all of us as an audience feel very, very old.
A bloom cactus bloom in the plaza. 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 A bloom cactus bloom in a bloom of cactus. Bloom cactus bloom in the bloom cactus.
Of course, Rad and Enid would get episodes based around them as well. Some that may not even feature KO that much. In Everybody Likes Rad, Rad goes viral after a clip he posted of an epic fail is uploaded.
I gotta hand it to you, Rad. I can't not share this.
See, KO? The joke may be on me, but it's still my joke.
This leads to him reaching modern influencer levels of fame, even getting his own con.
What an honor it is to be here at RadCon 21X. I'm so happy to be among people who recognize my comedic genius and—
Say blorp!
Right. That part was pretty sick, huh? But what really makes it funny is everything leading up to the blorp. For instance—
He said blorp!
But it starts to become clear that the fans only like him for the one thing, the little blorp he said during the video, which is apparently a sort of alienism. This escalates even further when a movie producer approaches him to make movies. But the first day on set, it's clear the movie is milking the stereotypes of aliens. He's just the token alien, as it were. And while he wants to push the role past just being a normal stereotype that's already been done, the director drills the importance of stereotypes.
Oh, Rad, my sweet little fledgling baby pterodactyl. Everyone in this town is a stereotype. Look at me, big budget director. Oh, and look at my actors. The hapless funny man, the attractive woman, the loyal yet doomed pet, the strong attractive woman, the rugged yet charming leading man, and now, the hilarious bumbling alien, you!
A clear allegory to some real-life situations that some minorities go through in the entertainment industry, where if you're not playing a certain stereotypical role, you're not working. The episode ends with Rad quitting the movie and being replaced by a generic white guy doing alien blackface.
Aha, Lisa Bloop Blorp, take me to your leader, Glip Glap. Blorp me up, blorpity blorp blorp, ha
Ugh, that is not okay.
Enid also gets an episode where we learn a little bit more about her past, specifically her school life, when an old friend comes to visit the plaza.
Greetings, Lakewood Plaza! Elodie has arrived!
Elodie was Enid's best friend in school, and a chance meeting when Enid was working on her ninja skills led to a friendship that seemed like it would never die. until a competition was coming up where the winner would get a spot at Point Academy, basically a more exclusive UA high from My Hero Academia, where young heroes learn to hone their skills to possibly get a spot in the superhero group Point. The two seemed to be in sync, but when it came down to just the two of them, Elodie turned on Enid, took the spot she needed to achieve her dream. This obviously causes some tension when she shows back up again at the plaza. Enid tries to avoid her, but after seeing the pain she's in, KO encourages her to confront Elodie to work through the pain she's feeling.
I'll take you on.
I think you may have misheard me. I asked for a challenger, and nothing about you is challenging.
This results in a fight where the two work out their rage at each other, and Enid comes out on top.
I thought you said you could never fight your best friend. Enid?
You're right. I can't.
After the fight, Enid realizes with the help of KO that Elodie never actually used her, and it's left open that their relationship could get better in the future, showing the whole reason Elodie came to the plaza was to see her.
Miss Elodie, how was visiting your childhood best friend?
Oh, shut up, Jeffrey.
It was clear that many of the episodes worked as a kind of structure that Cartoon Network wants from these shows. Episodes that can be easily played in random order on the schedule with self-contained stories. But it's also clear that Ian and the crew wanted to build a bigger world and a bigger story. The seeds of this world started to be planted fully with We're Capture, which would be the first on-screen appearance of Professor Venomous, a figure who would play a big part in the series as a whole.
Yes, well, I'm glad you could make it. Spending quality time with clients is very important to me.
Yes, we have much to discuss.
The trio find themselves captured by Lord Boxman, but he's too distracted to finish them off because he's preparing for a big dinner with one of his biggest clients, Professor Venomous, voiced by Stephen Ogg, aka Trevor from GTA 5.
Don't play with your food.
But it tastes like foo-foo.
We also see Venomous' henchman, Fink, voiced by Laura Jo Miller, or Kairi from the classic Digimon series.
Forgive me, Boxman, but will the main entree be ready soon? I don't have a lot of time.
He probably burned that, too.
Wow, how'd you do that?
Venomous is upset at the failure of Boxman to deliver his last shipment of bots, so Boxman has invited him to dinner to smooth it over. But everything goes wrong as the heroes escape their capture and sabotage the dinner with an incredibly offensive Italian accent.
Fresci, Peppy.
Yes, please.
Okay, just say when.
When?
However, this backfires on the heroes as Venomous gets a rush at seeing Boxman attack the heroes, deciding to stay in business with him since this reminds him of his passion for villainy. Apart from little clues here and there to the tragic events that link Carol and Mr. Gar together, the next step to move that plot forward would be in the episode TKO.
Good hustle? I don't want good hustle. I want power!
So it's power you want, eh?
KO encounters a shadowy figure, funnily named Shadowy Figure. Shadowy is also voiced by Stephen Ogg, but I wouldn't read too much into that. The mysterious figure who tempts KO with more power after he's frustrated by still not getting past level 0.1. He teaches him to channel his anger, to unleash it.
What is that?
That's your anger. The key to your power. But first you must make it grow.
KO unleashes more than he bargained for, bringing forth another dark side to him, named TKO, or Turbo KO.
Is he serious?
You have no idea.
TKO is basically KO entering his goth phase.
Everyone keeps saying I'm cute and I'm such a hard worker. Oh, it's like they don't even see me.
he starts to mope and brood like a true angsty teen.
I realized that the whole world is a pizza of suffering and torment. The dough is betrayal. The cheese is the laughter from my so-called friends. And there's never enough sauce.
A little dramatic, don't you think?
Rad and Enid get worried about him and try to cheer him up. This escalates quickly with TKO getting angry and destroying the plaza before being confronted by Carol and Mr. Gar.
How could you? You know I'm always willing to support your choices, but this phase has gone too far. It's not a phase, Mom! It is who I am!
My store!
TKO gets even angrier and unleashes a new power that seems to be a field that saps the energy from anyone it touches. Luckily, before any more damage is done, the real KO is able to escape his mind prison and take control back from TKO. For now.
Mommy, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. There was this kid who he looked just like me, and I. Hey, it's okay. Shh, it's okay. I'm just glad you're back to normal. Well, sorta. Here.
The episode was actually the first full half-hour episode of the show, normal episodes being around 15 minutes. As such, the episode had special little anime-like eye catches for the commercial breaks. After this bit of drama, we would be back on track with more one-off episodes that were self-contained, but would also help to expand the world and its characters. For example, in Second First Dates, after Cupid visits the plaza, we would discover that not only did Rad and Enid know each other back in the day, but they also went on a first date together. But it obviously didn't go well. But Cupid insists there are unresolved feelings, so the two go on a second first date of sorts.
Hey! How about a toast?
To new beginnings.
To second first dates.
But at the end, the two discover that they truly work better as platonic friends only.
You call that a date? All they did was drink juice and have flowers and get almost eaten by lava. They messed up again!
No, I was the one who was mistaken. I see now that platonic friendship is one of the most beautiful loves of all.
We would also get an excellent Dendy-centered episode not long after, revolving around POW cards. While looking over their collection, KO learns that for some reason, Kappas are not eligible for their own POW cards, because they're considered monsters incapable of doing anything heroic.
What?
Precisely. The reality was very different from the rumors.
Daddy! A Kappa tried to drown me!
Despite their absurdity, the stories persisted and Kappas came to be seen as monsters, incapable of power or heroism. That is why Kappas are ineligible for POW cards.
The two head to the POW card factory to attempt to correct this, but are confronted by the CEO of the company.
Mr. Cardsley, all our lives we've loved POW cards. See?
Oh, very nice.
But then we found out you don't let Kappas be recognized as heroes. And that's the most messed up thing I ever heard. So fix it, please.
Well, what's there to fix? I mean, why in the world would Kappas need POW cards?
Because it's bad to leave them out. Don't be bad.
He has a bias against Kappas due to old rumors and stories that were spread about them. Something handed down by his grandfather, the founder of POW cards. Dendy attempts to prove that Kappas are capable of being heroes by setting up the system that detects heroes to at least try to search for Kappas.
Oh, sorry, kids. Like I said, Kappa. What the? How can this be? I was wrong? I can't process
always been told I'm right.
When it does and is successful, PAL cards start selling even more than they did before, and the CEO admits that he was wrong and gladly accepts these new changes.
Young lady, Dendy, was it?
Yes.
Dendy, you've really taught me something here today. I thank you. And from now on, PAL cards will recognize the heroic feats of Kappas across the globe. Grandfather would be proud.
Of how much money we're making!
What's weird about this episode is that it's a clear message that portrays the bad guy as wrong, but he's also wrong because of ignorance born more out of what he was told by society and his family than anything else. And when he's proven wrong, he immediately admits to being wrong. But what's weird is that despite this, they show him being worse in future episodes, killing him off screen in a later episode about PAL cards, and then later showing him in hell as a punishment, which again is weird considering the dude immediately repented and changed when his bias was proven wrong to him. I guess this is a good time as any to talk about it. While the show does have some great examples of episodes with a message, including a much future episode called Chip's Damage about not putting too much stock in so-called role models, there are two examples of episodes that kind of fall flat in that regard, including one of my most hated episodes of OKKO, probably the only episode I think is truly bad with no redeeming qualities. The first episode, not my most hated one, but one of the episodes I'm not too fond of, is called The Power Is Yours, which on the surface is a very funny and faithful love letter to the classic cartoon Captain Planet and the Planeteers. There are a lot of things I do like about this episode. But first, a little bit of a history. I'm sure there are many kids either who are watching this now or who were watching the episodes back in the day who have no idea what any of this is. But back in 1990, Ted Turner and Barbara Pyle used their influence and media power to create a cartoon to teach kids about the importance of environmentalism. This would manifest as Captain Planet and the Planeteers.
Ye with the power of water. And from South America, Mati with the power of heart. When the 5 powers combine, they summon Earth's greatest champion, Captain Planet. Go Planet! The power is yours!
First airing on Turner's own station, TBS, and later in syndication on other channels, including another Turner-owned channel, Cartoon Network.
Planeteer alert! The Cartoon Network's crawling with sludge, ooze, and scum. Eco-villains from all over the planet have joined forces to trash the Earth Day celebration. Pollute! For 12 straight hours, Captain Planet's gonna be up against some of the worst waste cases ever, and he needs our help.
Go Planet!
Be here with us for the Captain Planet Earth Day Marathon, beginning Saturday morning at 8 on the Cartoon Network, home of the lean, green eco-machine, Captain Planet.
A simple story about a group of teens brought together by the spirit of Earth Gaia, voiced by Whoopi Goldberg. The teens, known as the Planeteers, use special rings to control different elements, such as fire, water, wind, earth, and heart, to fight against the evils of pollution and whatnot. The show had a lot of weight put behind it, being the pet project of a media tycoon like Ted Turner. As such, the cast included such pretty big names for the time, including Jeff Goldblum as the villain Villainous Scum, although only for the first season.
Oh, Captain Planet, get a little taste of this.
Oh, red blood.
Dean Stockwell as Duke Nukem, no, not that one, and Martin Sheen as Sly Sludge, but again only for the first few seasons before being replaced by, funnily enough, Jim Cummings for the sequel series.
Your file, your bundled messes, I'll dump them for a fee.
The show at the time was fairly popular thanks to the power and backing of Turner behind it. But the show is, as you can imagine, fairly cheesy. While the show does want to teach kids about the importance of conservation and saving the Earth, which it does try to move specifically in ending PSAs, it goes about it in a clumsy way. The villains of the show don't pollute or destroy the environment as a byproduct for making money or a product or something. Many of them just do it just to do it. a point that's actually mentioned in the OKKO crossover itself.
Ooh, this will surely destroy the plaza and the world. No, why would we want to do that? We do live on the world. Who cares?
Not to mention the villains are usually portrayed as literal monsters and subhuman, and work in industries that are necessary to keep the world moving, as it is. One of the evil elements is portrayed as nuclear energy, which back in the day was a boogeyman of environmentalism, but nowadays is seen more and more as more safe and sustainable than stuff like wind or solar. They would also branch out into other activist causes, including the infamous episode Formula for Hate, which directly deals with the AIDS crisis that was going on at the time. Guest starring Neil Patrick Harris and Elizabeth Taylor, the episode sees scum spreading misinformation about AIDS, saying it can be spread by casual contact and isolating a young boy who contracted the disease from an unfortunate mix-up with a blood transfusion. You may know of this episode from that one clip.
Get him out of here! He's got AIDS!
There was also the episode where they told kids to stop having so many babies because we had too many people.
The world is now more than 5 billion?
Wow, that is a lot of people.
And it's increasing by 90 million people each year.
But the Earth is not getting any bigger.
So when it is your turn to have a family,
keep it small.
But getting back to the crossover, it's goofy and fun, but does end with sort of a downer ending, telling its child audience that the planet is on the edge of dying, and if they don't unplug their phone after it finishes charging, it will be too late, and it's all their fault. Despite its preachiness, it was still a fun nostalgia trip, even bringing back the original voices of Planeteer Kwame, LeVar Burton.
Oh no! Has everyone given up like my fellow Planeteers?
Whoa! Who are you? You seem kind of familiar.
I'm Kwame.
And the OG voice of Captain Planet.
By your powers combined, I am Captain Planet!
Weird that they didn't bring back any of the other OG or other Planeteers, considering most of them are still very active. Heck, they had the voice of Mati, Scott Manville, right across the way voicing Robin in Teen Titans Go. Although bringing back a white guy to voice an Indian boy, even then probably wouldn't have gone over well. The next episode is by far worse, and as I mentioned, my most hated episode. Let's Not Be Skeletons sees a Music Man-style huckster come to the plaza to sell them a concept for his new invention.
Well, you hold that remote up in the air, see that Enid and Rad over there, pull down on your 10-gallon brim, he's eyeing you and you're eyeing him. Pow, you watch that laser fly, bam, you hit him between the eyes. Now he's just a skeleton and your problems melt away, thanks to... Skeleton Remote! Skeleton Remote!
A not-so-subtle allegory for guns, it's pitched as a way to protect yourself from villains, and is quickly bought up by all the residents of the plaza. Things go wrong fast, as Enid and Rad recklessly use the remotes on each other and turn themselves into skeletons.
Doofus, it was a joke! Rad!
Ah, my beef! It's all gone! You're gonna pay!
Your powers are gone!
KO freaks out and starts to see more and more people abuse the remotes.
There's villains everywhere. You can't... Oh gosh, I'm so sorry!
Don't worry about it. I'm fine.
You call this fine?
The grifter even starts selling the remotes to the Boxmore bots in droves. Almost all the plaza residents are turned into skeletons, and the episode ends revealing it was all a dream, and KO gets the remotes banned before they can even be created. Now, obviously I have a lot of problems with this episode. It's clearly made by people who both hate guns but also don't get them. The kind of people that unironically think that there's no actual gun control of any kind, and any kid can go buy a gun at their local gas station. Basically people who live in California. They literally have the cold dead hands line in it.
You can have this remote when you pry it from my cold, hard skeleton hands!
There is a very easy way to make an anti-gun episode. People like the NRA have been doing it for years.
Stop!
Don't touch. I'm Eddie Eagle, and I like you so much. Please be safe. Go away. It's a must. Go find an adult, someone you can trust. Go tell an adult. Don't hang around. Tell him what you saw. Tell him what you found. Stop. Don't touch. Leave the area. Tell an adult. Yeah, stop. Don't touch. Leave the area. Tell an adult.
That's a moniker I don't even remember learning, and it's been burned into my brain decades later. I had my own idea for making this same episode with a bit of a nuance. There would be no huckster to start. The skeleton remotes would be more a new product being sold in Gar's bodega. A shipment comes in while Gar is gone. Enid and Rad don't know what to do with the products, so they just start selling them in the open. The concept doesn't really appeal to most heroes, as many of them already have powers that could be considered deadly, or at least capable of self-defense. Or just not interested in combat. But the small hero Potato does enter the shop and sees this as a way to protect herself from the constant robot attacks that happen at the plaza. I mean, KO, Enid, and Rad can't be everywhere at once, and who knows what may happen when some sort of collateral damage happens. She, however, does not know how to use the device, and the trio are too busy to help. So Potato leaves the bodega to try to go about her day. There, while walking down an alley alone, she gets confronted by a Daryl. Potato brandishes the remote, but Daryl doesn't know what it is. And Potato, again, doesn't know how to use it. She fires and misses, hitting a nearby bench that turns into a skeleton. Realizing the danger, Daryl flees. Potato gets a bit more confidence, knowing she has a weapon to protect her. But she also gets a little paranoid, thinking that everyone could be a threat. She's startled by Brandon and a real magic skeleton, and she accidentally fires her skeleton remote. Thankfully, it hits only RMS, who, just like the original episode, is not affected by the remote due to already being a skeleton. A commotion starts as Brandon and RMS question Potato for what she's doing, and she gets flustered. This commotion summons Mr. Gar, who asks Potato where she got the remote. When she tells him, he gets very angry and bursts into the bodega to confront the trio. He's horrified to see that the skeleton remotes are being sold out in the open, pointing to a special locked case with specific instructions on how to handle them, the special process for someone buying them, and so on. Mr. Gar informs them that these devices are dangerous, but can be helpful for those who may not have great powers, as people like Enid, Rad, or even KO. However, they need to be carefully sold and handled to make sure they go to the right people, responsible people. Maybe we have a Daryl come into the store in disguise and try to buy one after they find out about its power from running into Potato, but Gar quickly kicks him out. It's just a basic idea, and it still sends the message that guns are dangerous and need to be taken seriously, but it does serve a purpose if used correctly. Luckily, these episodes are few and far between, as the rest of Season 1 all have amazing episodes, both that help push the overall story forward or just great one-offs. I can't go over every single episode in this video, both because it would take too long and I want everybody to experience the show. So let's go over some of my favorites. Let's Watch the Pilot is a great non-canon episode where the actors who play the characters in OKKO watch the real pilot of the show and comment on it.
Ha! The plaza looked so different back then.
Whoa, we look so weird.
My hair. Sorry, this is just, really weird to watch now.
It sure is. Please feel free to react out loud during the whole thing.
I like episodes like this that are able to incorporate the pilot in some way into the show. Regular Show had a similar episode.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! What is going on with your mouth there?
It's an old theater trick we call jawing. It, keeps the jaw nice and loose, even when you're not talking.
A Hero's Fate is actually a unique episode because it's a continuation and ending of Ian's previous webcomic, RPG World. KO gets frustrated about not leveling up fast enough and meets Hero, who is looking to finish his quest by leveling himself.
You can call me Hero. I left my homeland far away on a solo quest to the Dark Castle to defeat my evil nemesis, Galgaragamenfren. We've battled countless times over the ages, but soon I'll be leveled enough to finally complete my journey.
That must be so cool!
KO travels with him, but discovers that Hero's method of leveling up includes a lot of grinding.
Matters. Every second matters when you're jamming on the grind. Every second matters. It's the one thing that you'll find. Never stray from your singular path to the same thing every time. Treat your seconds wisely, and you'll level up just fine. Oh, yeah!
The episode ends with Hero realizing that he's wasting his life with all this grinding and returns home to settle down.
Darling, I'm back. And I'm really, really sorry.
1 year later.
I'm so glad I learned valuable lessons.
And I'm so glad we had a baby named Spaghetti.
This sure beats leveling up alone.
This would be the official canon ending to RPG World, giving a happy ending to the fans who stuck around. Hero was voiced by Michael Sinterniklaas, who voices Dean Venture in the Venture Brothers, another connection to Ian's first job on the show. There's actually a few other Venture Brothers connections in the show, as James Eubank plays Mr. Logic, the former Boxmore robot turned Plaza barber.
Hello, handsome. Mind cleaning the old neckline?
With pleasure, KO. These old clippers have quite a history, you know.
And Stephen Rosati, aka Dr. Orpheus, shows up as the owner of the frame shop that RMS and Brandon work in.
Boys! I sense a disturbing presence drawing near with a very important task. Beware, my trusty aids! At any moment, it could reveal itself.
Glory Days is a great flashback episode that opens up more story by showing the first day of Mr. Gar and Carol joining the superhero team Point.
Point! We are powerful operatives.
Point! And we're super cooperative. Point! We investigate and neutralize every single trouble. On the double!
It's also where we first get a look at the legendary hero Laser Blast, who, weirdly enough, is also voiced by Stephen Ogg again. But I'm sure that doesn't mean anything.
Well, shoot. I stand corrected, junior members. Great job. I think a reward is in order.
Get us pizza!
How about it, Silver Spark? You wanna ride with me in the Powitzer and pick up pizzas for everyone?
Oh, well, sure.
Then we're off.
Man, Laser Blast works fast. Really fast. We'll get to that later as well. I would say Parents' Day is one of my top 5 of Season 1. Mostly because it's a setup for one of my absolute favorite episodes later on.
You have guests. Please join us for dinner. We'd love to!
But mostly because we also get to meet Enid's parents.
I'm Bernard!
And I'm Wilhelmina. We're Enid's parents!
Ah, cripes, dinner's burning!
Oh.
Why don't you give him a tour, Querida?
Yes, a tour. Lovely.
In this, we find out about Enid's witch heritage, and that her mom is a vampire and her dad is a werewolf.
Oh, it's been so long.
Let's have a look-see!
No, don't look! Stop it!
Baby Enid's first wand.
And her first broom ride.
Oh, her first wart.
Here she is dressed like a pizza for no reason. This one moves.
And here she is right now!
Villains Night Out and Night In is a great 2-part episode that follows 2 parts of the same night. The first sees Professor Venomous and Lord Boxman attending an exclusive villain party that Boxman was not initially invited to.
Ooh, I love tiny shrimpers. Tomates? Don't mind if I do.
The episode really lets Jim stretch his range on the goofy-ass voice of his.
I'd like to dedicate this song to my most evil best friend, and I think you know him, Professor Venomous. Oh, yeah. When we walk down the street, other villains wish that they could meet us, but they can't. No, they can't, because we're 2 of hearts! 2 of hearts! We're 2 of hearts! I don't know if I mentioned this, but we are 2 hearts!
The second part sees Fink being babysat back at Boxmore by Daryl and Shannon.
Oh, if only I had listened to you, Lord Boxman. Surely I would have destroyed the plaza and earned your love. That's right, Sockbot. You should never, ever, ever disobey an order.
Your boss makes you watch videos of himself?
To be a perfect robot slave, don't ask questions, just behave and always follow orders. That's right.
Back in Red Action is the start of a trilogy of Red Action episodes, where we learn a little more about her past as someone from the future and start to see her budding romance between her and Enid. OK Dendy, Let's Be Heroes, sees Dendy taking over for KO at the bodega while he is visiting his grandma.
This should be easy and fun. I am uncomfortable.
And she is just the best. Mystery Science Fair 21X gives us more info of TKO and his power, not to mention the Dexter's Lab references.
I want to know what happens when I do
My incubator!
and this!
My plasma orb! Get out of my observatory!
Lastly would be the Season 1 finale, You're in Control.
You're sure to destroy the plaza for me, Boxman Jr. My perfect evil son.
When Boxman reveals his latest creation, Boxman Jr., KO needs to finally channel and team with his TKO side in order to unlock the power he needs to defeat him.
Taking a little nap, huh, Squirt? You can take a long one later when I'm through with you. You little ankle biter!
That's my baby boy!
This would also set up a pretty big status quo change, as it ends with Daryl betraying his father and taking over ownership of Boxmoor, and Lord Boxman being launched into the sun.
But who will be our daddy?
I am...
Just second egg, Jethro.
Now, there's no need to worry, children. We have already found a suitable replacement. He's shown great loyalty to the Boxmoor brand, and we have full faith that he will be able to set the company on the right path. Meet your new boss!
There's a new daddy in town.
Frankly, a great finale to a great first season. And while Season 2 in many ways would bring bigger and better things, the cracks would start to form just a little bit. Whereas the first season was set for 52 episodes, Season 2 would only see 40. But it was okay. There was still a lot to look forward to in Season 2.
It's good to be back.
Season 2 opens with another top quality episode, Seasons Change, which picks up 3 months after the end of Season 1. And like any good time skip, Enid and Rad have gone through some changes.
Are you guys having a costume party? Why didn't anyone invite me?
These aren't costumes. This is what we look like now.
You guys are tricking me again, aren't you?
No, KO. What you're seeing before you is a rite of passage for all great heroes.
A time skip!
Rad goes through a whole color change, which turns out was caused by overexposure to the sun.
Until finally, I had achieved my perfect form! Of course, I needed some new duds to match my new and improved visage. With all my hard work, I had joined the ranks of the great ones, and we were as beautiful as we were unstoppable. That image of perfection is the one you see before you today.
And Enid takes a class in mime, mistaking it for a super special ninja training class.
I was ready. I was nailing everything. I didn't even break a sweat. Until hot coffee pour jutsu. But I was successful! For mastering all the jutsus, teacher gave me this beret, which is pretty cool because I don't know a lot of ninjas besides him that wear them.
After failing with their supposed new abilities and training, they quickly go back to normal and things are back to the status quo. Well, almost, as the next episode continues seeing Daryl as the head of Boxmoor. Boxmoor, back from the sun, is forced to work as a robot in his own factory, before sort of learning a lesson, telling Daryl he is proud of his actions.
I'm proud of you, Daryl. No, Lord Cowboy, Daryl. Goodbye, son.
Wait! Come back!
In one of my absolutely favorite episodes, that just so happens to also be a Denny episode, KO accidentally wrecks Rad's van, but Denny repairs it with some new upgrades, which helps Rad with a race against Red Action in her tank.
I mean, it looks better, but it's still just a van.
Just a van? That's pretty big coming from Tugboat Annie over there.
My Fair Carol expands on another major change for Season 2. Mr. Gar and Carol are now dating.
Well, when I first found out, I was excited and confused, but happy and a little unsure. I love my mom and I love Mr. Gar, but I guess I guess I don't know how I feel.
Yes, through the entire first season, it was clear that Mr. Gar had a major crush on Carol. The only time he would break from his normal tough guy facade is when Carol was around, freezing up into a total mess of a man.
Mommy, may I go to steaks out with Mr. Gar?
Sure thing, my beautiful baby boy. Have fun on the stakeout, honey.
Yes.
We see in flashback episodes that he always had a crush on Carol, even back in their Point days. However, she would end up going with Laser Blast. I told you he worked fast, although we don't know the half of it just yet. Laser Blast would die on a mission infiltrating a secret weapon stronghold.
Give me the sandwich! Just wait!
Get out of the way!
Please, no, listen to me. I'm the tomato and you're whatever part of the sandwich you want to be. Smoked ham?
What are you talking about? We don't have time for Laser Blast!
Mr. Gar would take the blame for this, Carol also holding a grudge against him for a long time. But they worked out a few things in the meantime, and having been dating since the Season 1 break, Mr. Gar is acting like sort of a father figure to KO.
What'd you get up to over the summer?
Well, it was just like every summer with my mom. I ate oatmeal for breakfast every day, the same way I always do. Played at the beach. Practiced my rocket skating. And watched all the Chip Damage movies.
But Mr. Gar is showering Carol with gifts and affection, and Carol feels bad for not doing anything special for him. So KO, Enid, and Rad help Carol set up a special dinner in the danger zone.
Seeing my mom on a date is still a little confusing. Oh, she looks so happy. Maybe this isn't so weird after all.
Let me see. No one is crying, so the night can't be going that bad.
Point to the Plaza is a great one-off episode, and a way to set up future stories. When a massive slime monster takes over the bodega, Point comes to the scene to help, bringing along legendary hero Chip Damage.
Time to bring the damage!
Mr. Damage!
Hold on, everybody. I only got 2 hands.
The Superman or All Might of this universe, Chip is the ultimate hero and KO's personal role model. Best of all, he's voiced by Hall of Fame pro wrestler and gold medalist Kurt Angle. Enid is not a very big Chip fan, seeing him as a little cheesy, but the two were able to work together to defeat the monster. Chip is impressed by Enid's work and invites her to join Point Prep Academy, the same academy she tried to get into before, but Elodie took her spot.
But if you're ever thinking about applying to Point Prep, consider this your acceptance letter. You've got the makings of a big-time hero, kid. Now, who wants autographs?
Red Action to the Future is the second Red Action-themed episode. Red Action is called back to the future to help finish a war that will save humanity in the future.
Sounds pretty serious.
Yeah, but I'd hate to bail on our plans.
So don't worry about us! We'll be fine. Hanging out here is fun and all, but this is probably more important. You should go.
All right, if you insist.
Enid is a little nervous about her leaving, still being scared to express her true feelings towards her, but she does not want to hold her back and be seen as weighing her down. Every time Red comes back to the past to check in, she's a little older and a little more weathered.
Oh, thank Cobb. I was hoping I left this blaster here. It's been a crazy couple of years. We'll talk soon.
Now's your chance, Enid.
Red, wait up!
Enid can see this as getting further and further away, until she comes back one last time at the end of the war, much older and regretting not being able to spend more time with Enid.
Maybe if I'd been honest before you left, we could have been together for years. But hey, I'm grateful for the time we did have, you know?
Me too. I'm glad I got to see you guys. One last time.
Oh, yeah, you should get going, huh?
But just when it seems like Red will leave for the future forever.
Psych!
Red?
Thanks to some time travel shenanigans, old Red went back in time to tell young Red how to easily beat the enemy and win the war in the future, so they could spend more time with Enid in the present.
So, I did her a solid and changed her past by staying in 21X. In fact, you were there the whole time.
I guess I remember that now?
Me too. So all that stuff today happened and didn't happen? Plus I got new shoes.
Cool, right?
TKO's house develops the relationship between KO and TKO. KO has set up a little house for TKO in his head, with everything he could ever want. But TKO wants freedom to find shadowy figure, the man who basically created him, to get answers and a bit of revenge.
I didn't ask to be born, you know. All I want to do is corner that jerk and ask him, why do I exist?
They manage to track him down, but are forced to work together and unlock a new power in order to fight him.
Oh, what's this? Are we serious now?
Now tell me, why did you...
These poor glorbs need my urgent attention. Not bad. You're much more light on your feet than the last time we did this.
Next, we move on to a unique part of Season 2, the Point Prep arc.
Congratulations once again on your acceptance to Point Prep. Here is your official Point Prep uniform. Your shuttle will be arriving soon. Please pack your belongings and prepare to head to your pickup location.
Jeez, Point is always so showy, huh?
Here, Enid accepts the offer to join Point Prep Academy, mostly to prove to herself that she can do it. This would start as an arc of 5 episodes that mostly focus on Enid.
Okay, maybe I can do this.
Thank you for writing. Now get out.
Welcome back, students, to another wonderful term at Point Prep.
KO and Rad would show up in the last few episodes, but this gives Enid a chance to stretch her legs development-wise.
Reflect, reflect, reflect.
There isn't much time to do much. She does reunite with Elodie at school and even becomes her dorm mate.
Oh, hey! Good morning, Elodie!
Oh, good morning, Enid.
I forgot to change my shirt and brush my teeth and use deodorant. I'm a mess, and Elodie's as put together as ever!
We also meet 2 new classmates, Pastel and Koala Princess.
Koala Princess and I have been friends since middle school. Best friends! We bonded over our favorite hero in the world. I bet you can guess who!
And previously seen hero Sparko actually get some lines.
Right on! I'm starting my second semester, and let me tell you, it's gonna be so sweet finally having another classmate from Lakewood. Most Point Prep students are a bunch of snobs from fancy-pants hero families that look down on us regular folk.
While adjusting to the new environment and making up with Elodie, Enid starts to notice some off things going on. Students acting strangely, secret societies, and a weird glowing light.
Exceptional.
Enid?
After a friendly game of Mega Football that brings more clues to this conspiracy,
That's what I'm talking about!
Rad and KO stick around to help Enid figure out what's going on. It leads to Enid and Elodie teaming up to discover the mastermind behind it all, finding out in the process that chip damage is in fact just a robot.
Oh my god! He's a robot?
Wait, what the? A charging bay?
Elle!
Wake up! Elle! By Jove, what is the?
It's Chip's butt!
I beg your pardon?
It's not real!
A robot built by Dr. Grayman, a teacher and former member of Point.
When Point was falling apart, we needed to show the world and ourselves that we were still dependable heroes. I programmed him to always act as a symbol of strength, all the heroes around the world could ever hope to be. But it's true, Chip has been acting weird lately.
And controlled by another teacher, Foxtail.
The only way for us to keep the world safe is to choose who gets the power.
What you did goes against everything Point stands for.
If you disagree with my methods, you can leave. We don't have room for the powerless anyway.
Having discovered this, Enid decides to leave Point Prep. However, Elodie stays behind, as it's always been her dream to join Point, and believes that she can be the change that the organization needs.
People need heroes to look up to.
Even if they're not real?
I'll be real.
Well, it was worth a shot.
Keep in touch?
Yeah. Just be careful, okay?
I will.
See you around, you pompous jerk.
Likewise, you tacky buffoon.
The show goes back to its typical format after that, with one-off episodes that still have an opportunity for story. For example, Carol Quest sees Carol, who's working as an undercover operative for Point to monitor the Glorb tree under the bodega, being sent on a special mission.
Foxtail's just calling to send me on a fun scavenger hunt. Right, Foxtail?
Yes. I will need you to rendezvous with our magic clue giver in Sector 6B for more info.
Which she has to take KO along so he's not left alone. So that KO doesn't catch on to her undercover job, she has to pretend this is all one big scavenger hunt.
Oh, you made it! Thank goodness. I was starting to get worried. Junior Operative Miss Mummy.
At ease, Cadet. Hi, Miss Mummy.
Oh, hi, KO.
Are you the secret clue giver?
Secret clue giver?
Yeah, you know, for the secret scavenger hunt. Huh?
We also get a new Boxman-centered episode when he shows up in Professor Venomous' trash and is taken into his home.
Box butt! Get out of our house, you stink man!
He's not a stink man. He's our guest. At least for the next couple of days.
After some shenanigans, Boxman is about to be kicked out when he introduces a plan to attack the plaza, which he manages to convince Venomous and Fink of.
Just when I think I'm fed up with you again, you prove me wrong.
Venomous is inspired, much like he was when he first came over to Boxmoor in the first season. He buys Boxmoor and puts Boxman and himself in charge of the new company, a new status quo.
Thanks, partner.
Whoopsie!
Before moving on to that, let's talk about a very interesting event that OKKO helped create. That being Crossover Nexus.
Alright guys, meet back here in in 1 hour. And remember, you break, you buy, so keep your hands in your pockets. If you have hands.
Hey, Beatnik, park your magic bus somewhere else. You're lousing up my hall.
Sorry, sir. I'll be in and out in no time.
Miss Bellum, get me the Powerpuff Girls.
Many will remember Cartoon Network City from the iconic bumpers from this era, a place where different Cartoon Network characters of the time would all live and interact together. With the opening of Crossover Nexus, we see KO being transported to a version of the city that is almost unrecognizable.
Howdy, hero, and Toodaloo!
What, me? I'm still just a hero in training.
Yeah, I don't care.
KO has been summoned by a villain named Strike, voiced by Michael Dorn of Star Trek fame. Strike is hunting heroes in the city and summoning more when he runs out of victims. KO was saved by Steven Universe hero Garnet.
I'm a crystal gem. I fight off threats from outer space and protect my planet from anything that would harm it. The name's Garnet.
And they soon find Ben of Ben 10.
No, I'm Ben 10. Listen, I travel around the country with my grandpa and cousin Gwen in an RV. That's nice.
Who quickly gets stuck in his forearms for him, for much of the special. And Raven from Teen Titans Go specifically.
I'm part of a group of superheroes called the Teen Titans. My name's Raven. Excuse me? That's better.
The special is as long as a standard episode of OKKO at 11 minutes. Apparently it was meant to be a full half-hour special, but it was cut for some kind of executive decision reasons. Because of this, the special does not have a lot of time to do much, but it does allow for a ton of cameos from other Cartoon Network franchises, even a rare cameo from the first Cartoon Network original character, Moxie.
Whoa, bros, we're back. I am Weasel. Hey, nice to meet you.
Eventually, the day is saved, and the four heroes each return to their own universes.
Finally, this crossover's over. Wait a minute. Zinthos! Phew, close call.
We get a few more great episodes that help to build the world and the overall story, like All in the Villainy, which deals with the aftermath of Lord Boxman and Venomous merging, and specifically Fink and Daryl not getting along.
Hey, I know what'll cheer you up. This guy!
My Sheriff Cowboy Daryl Dad hat! Oh, how I miss you. Rodeo may be over, but our love will go on.
Lame. Didn't anyone tell you? Cowboys blow.
Well, at least I don't have a Lord of the Loot lunchbox.
What's wrong with Lord of the Loot?
As well as Gar Quest, where we learn a little more about Gar and the origin of his history and mission of protecting the Glorb Tree and his bodega.
I've heard legends of your power, but I never thought I'd meet you face to face.
I've been watching you, wandering the land, selflessly helping heroes for years. You gotta help me with something, Youngblood. I've got some prime real estate with a big prize downstairs.
The Lakewood tree?
That's right, little man. I'll give you the deed, but you must protect it with your life.
Thank you, Mr. the President. I accept.
And even an episode where we get an update on KO losing a role model in Chip Damage, and thinking about becoming a sidekick instead.
Well, you don't have to be a big solo hero. There's a million other things you can be. Mission commander, anti-hero, sidekick. Sidekick? They're a kind of hero, right? Maybe I'll be one of those. Well, sure. Okay, then. I'm going to become a sidekick right after I burn this. No! Don't fire! None of that! No!
In a Class 4 Sidekicks, he meets an Astro Boy-like kid who wants to be the best support class hero.
It's always been my dream to aid a hero as cool and accomplished as you.
You think I'm accomplished?
Even the Scoutmaster said you're already strong enough to be a big-name hero. So won't you please grant me the honor of following in your footsteps, Master?
I suppose.
But all these would pale in comparison to my absolute favorite episode of Season 2, and probably my favorite episode of the show. But before we talk about that, let's have another little history lesson.
Uncle Scooby?
Back in the 80s, Hanna-Barbera was on a serious run of Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo had been on TV with new shows almost constantly since 1969. Mixing up the format here and there, they would try different things to try to keep the concept fresh. From introducing a nephew for Scooby known as Scrappy-Doo, to cutting down the cast to just Shaggy, Scooby, Scrappy, and Daphne for the new Scooby and Scrappy-Doo show. Not exactly sure what Fred and Velma were up to during that time, because according to canon, Fred and Daphne would later work on a ghost hunting show together, and Velma would open a bookshop or something, so maybe Fred and Velma had a little affair before that happened. They were just a few years out from the criminally underrated 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo, which guest starred Vincent Price. After this, they had switched to making more made-for-TV movies, starting with Scooby-Doo Meet the Boo Brothers. But in 1988, the same year a pup named Scooby-Doo would premiere, we would see one of the most iconic movies of the Scooby-Doo franchise.
Ready? Good. Ready? Writing? Like, don't you mean lightning, Scoop?
Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School would see Shaggy, Scooby, and Scrappy recruited as gym teachers for a school for ghouls, specifically a group of girl monsters, all the offspring of classic monsters like Dracula, the Wolfman, and the Mummy.
Like, that's it, girls! Scream 2, 3, 4! Howl 2, 3, 4! Like that's keeping your cape in shape, Sabella?
Thanks a lot, Shaggy. And I'm keeping my tape in shape.
You certainly are, Tennis. Scare aerobics are good for everyone.
The special has a lot of heart and a lot of puns.
Gee, Fatty, exercising sure is fun.
Yeah, it's really off the wall.
I'd say more into the wall.
It would make a resurgence when it re-aired years later on Cartoon Network, and when it was released on video. Funnily, it was around the time that Zombie Island was being released, and it was advertised as a brand new adventure that had never been seen before.
Join Scooby-Doo and Shaggy as they solve their latest mystery in the full-length movie, Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School.
Now, in October 21st, 2018, years after it had been forgotten by Cartoon Network itself as a yearly tradition, Monster Party would air.
Enid, you'll never guess who sent you a pigeon. Your old Ghoul School pals. They're in town tomorrow for a volleyball tournament, and they're stopping by to visit you. Your old Ghoul School pals.
What? Right.
KO visits Enid at home, just in time to learn that her old classmates from Ghoul School will be visiting for the day. Enid is nervous, as her old friends knew her as a reluctant witch, and not the new ninja she is now and always wanted to be.
Wow, I can't believe you're all here.
Oh, Enid, we've missed you so much.
Yeah, geez, it's been like pretty much a million years.
Our ghoul gang is reunited once more. How fantastic.
When the classmates arrive, we are greeted by the old members of the Ghoul School cast from all those years ago.
There's me, Phantasma, the gang's fun-loving ghost. And Elsa is our tough-as-nails Franken monster. And Sabella, our mysterious vampire. Oh! And of course, Tanis and Winnie.
I'm the werewolf.
She's the mummy. Duh.
Yeah, duh.
The best part about seeing the girls again is that Phantasma, Elsa, and Sabella would be reprised by their original voice actors. Most notable would be Phantasma, played by the legendary actor Russi Taylor, who voiced many memorable roles such as Huey, Dewey, Louie, and Webby in the original DuckTales series, Martin Prince in The Simpsons, and voicing Minnie Mouse along with her husband, who played Mickey, from 1986 to 2019.
Let me see. Oh man, the Grim Reaper is so hot.
Her performance on Monster Party would be one of her final voice acting roles before her tragic death in 2019. Hearing her capture that performance one last time is enough to bring a man like me to tears even today. The episode is a real love letter to the special, as well as a fun Halloween/Enid episode.
Good times, good times. Hey, do you guys ever wonder what happened to that weird guy with the Great Dane?
Oh yeah.
Talk like so weird, man.
Enid attempts to impress her old friends with her witch side, but blows it big time.
Aha! What do you think? Pretty spooky, right?
Yeah, interesting. Display.
Yeah, isn't it?
So much so that she needs to reveal her ninja side in order to save the day. The girls always suspected that she had a little ninja in her, and support her either way.
Wait, what?
Oh, Enid, we know.
I'll see you around later, guys. I don't want to be late for katana practice. Hocus pocus!
Huh, it makes sense. We love you, Enid, no matter what.
The end credits show a look at some original designs of the Ghoul School special, showing what a real labor of love this special was. They would also have a sort of holiday special with Super Black Friday, which expanded a bit of the religion of the universe.
I wish KO didn't have to work tonight.
The god of this universe is apparently a corncob being of some kind, so their Thanksgiving is called Shucksgiving, and they all say, "Oh my cob," and other corn-related puns to swear. Finally, we move on to the season finale of Season 2, which would serve as the next half-hour special of the series and a major status quo shakeup. Point arrives to the plaza to take over the protection duties of the Glorb Tree from Mr. Gar. Foxtail, now in charge of Point, with Trick Damage gone, and Elodie at her side, wants to use the Glorbs to superpower hero abilities in order to protect the world. Doing so means she has to control the plaza with an iron fist.
That's right. And I'd like to extend my gratitude for providing Point with your services all these years. Thank you, Special Agent Silver Spark. You are now relieved of your command.
What? Did she just say Special Agent?
I don't understand. Your work here is done, Agent. Thanks to all your valuable intel, Point Tech has finally finished development on my top secret project. Converting Lakewood Plaza into a globe excavation plant so we can finally harvest the hotbed of globes that lie beneath it.
Betrayed by Point and Carol, who was working as a secret agent for Point, Guard leaves, and we cut to 2 months later.
Harvest the globes! Troopers, it is our duty as the powerful to guard and protect the powerless. Globes are power. The more globes we harvest, the safer we all are.
A small resistance force, including the main three, KO, Enid, and Rad, among others, have banded together to try to overthrow Point. They start a plan to activate Plasmo, a giant robot made up of the plaza itself. They manage to do so and confront Foxtail and her power-removing ray.
No matter, let's put it back in the ground.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, she doesn't know what's going on.
We gotta go help her. That's Foxtail and Elodie's ship.
We can't let him take back the plaza. Plasmo, block those lasers.
Eventually, when the time is right, Elodie betrays Foxtail, and she's blasted with her own power-removing ray, rendering her useless and the resistance successful.
Elodie, what do you think you're doing?
It's like you said. Nothing wrong with a couple of sacrifices if it's for the greater good.
This would kick off a huge change for the series that would see KO become a full-fledged hero. It would also start to show the cracks forming, as many real-life issues would start to affect the show in major ways. But before we get to that unpleasantness, let's take a little break to talk about another piece of OKKO media that would come out around this time.
Hi, Enid! What game are you playing?
Okay, KO, let's play Heroes.
No, I didn't ask if you wanted to play Heroes. I asked what game you're playing.
Okay, KO, let's play Heroes.
But Enid, we already are Heroes. Why would I want to play Heroes? I just really want to know what video game you're playing, okay?
How many times do I have to tell you? I'm playing OKKO. Let's play Heroes, for crying out loud. It's a game. You're in it, dude.
I'm in a videos game?
In July of 2018, Cartoon Network Games would release a full-fledged video game for OKKO Let's Be Heroes, called OKKO Let's Play Heroes. OKKO Let's Play Heroes is a sort of side-scrolling beat-em-up, although unlike the mobile game where you would beat up enemies and go to the next screen, such as classic games like Streets of Rage and Golden Axe, this is a game that works with a sort of random encounters, where you'll fight waves of enemies on one screen, many of which will fall in Boxmore boxes, like on the show. The game's story itself is non-canon, and is basically retells the story of KO, in that he's already working at the plaza and knows Dendy, and has been fighting Boxmore bots for a bit, but doesn't have a POW card yet.
I'm going to keep helping people and saving stuff and bopping robots in their robot faces until the POW Card Company finally realizes I'm a hero worthy of a card.
You just keep being you and everything's gonna work out.
It sort of establishes that Dendy has a POW card before KO does, which already goes against a big episode in the first season. Anyway, the POW Card Factory has come out with a new set of POW cards, ones that are not only holographic, but also allow you to summon the hero in said card for a special move. Lord Boxman, sick of seeing all the Plaza heroes enjoying themselves, takes over the POW Card Factory and resets all the heroes' levels to 0.
No! That can't be!
You so had that coming, dude.
What did I do?
The cards have forsaken us! It's the POW Card Apocalypse!
What's happening?
This is Dynamite Watkins reporting for Action News Live from Lakewood Plaza Turbo, where a situation is developing.
I'm a zero. I'm a zero.
It seems that widespread hero level resets are occurring on POW cards. I repeat, people's POW cards are having their hero levels reset to 0. We have reached out to the POW card company for comment on this shocking decision, but they have not yet responded. What? No! Jody, stop filming! Cut! I said cut!
It's now up to KO to help the heroes regain their levels and take down Boxman and his robot children. This is one of those games that's easy to learn, but fun to master. On the surface, it looks like a very simple game with a simple moveset, and it is. But the fun part is finding new ways to combo moves together, and as you progress, you unlock new special attacks through the different POW cards. You can use 2 cards at the same time. They'll involve a hero from the show attacking in a signature way, like Enid and her kicking.
Tap to the foot!
The game involves a lot of running around the plaza as it's the main area of play. You do go to other locations for one-off missions, but it's mostly the plaza, so you'll be very acquainted with it. It also involves a lot of time wasting where you need to do a thing and then walk over to another thing and then talk to somebody, then walk over and talk to somebody else. But the writing and character work makes up for a lot of this, especially since all the voice actors return to reprise their roles.
Hey there, my little level 0 love nugget. How's work? Battle-y. Working here at the plaza sure leads to a lot of intense battles. It's everything I ever dreamed of.
And the game itself has a great art style that's fun to watch. Overall, it's a great experience and a great game that all OKKO fans should play. Unfortunately, during the making of this video, all the Cartoon Network games made around this time, which include the 2 Steven Universe RPGs, OKKO, and even the Samurai Jack console game, were all delisted out of nowhere. They mostly got physical releases, but by now, the prices will all rise for them until we get an idea of what happened and if these games are ever going to come back. With that little detour out of the way, let's get back and talk about the beginning of the end for OKKO.
Yeah, I guess.
Season 1 of OKKO started with a large order of 52 episodes. Season 2 was lowered a bit to a still respectable 40 episodes. However, Cartoon Network would only renew Season 3, its final season, for 20 episodes, a drastic reduction to even the gap from Season 1 and 2.
Man, we are crushing this hero biz. Permission to backpat now?
Permission granted.
Oh, man,
we were so
my
cool.
piloting skills
The
are
dragon
getting
was
so
like,
good.
"Rah," we were like, whatever, nerd.
This caused a lot of plans for the show to need to be rushed to completion, and a lot of storylines to be wrapped. Unlike other seasons, most episodes have something to do to drive forward the overarching plot, with very few deviations for fun one-off adventures. The new status quo of the show kicks off right away in episode 1, where KO, Enid, and Rad are shown to be doing away missions to work as real heroes, rather than just staying at the bodega all day. Dendy is also on the team as a tech person back at home. They even have new uniforms, and Dendy gets a new hat. In the second part of the premiere, the team try to come up with some sort of team name and gimmick for themselves, before realizing that they're fine just the way they are. Even episodes that seem like fun one-offs like TKO Rules are actually important plot movers, as TKO tricks KO into letting him out and breaking all of his mom's rules when he's trusted to stay home alone for the first time.
Now to wash it down.
KO finally decides to do something about TKO, originally wanting to work with him and giving him every opportunity to better himself. He locks TKO away in his subconscious, never to be seen again. Or so he thought.
What?
Welcome home, TKO.
KO vs. Fink sees, as the title suggests, Fink fighting KO, mocking him for being a mama's boy.
You're going down, Fink!
Well, if it isn't Mama's boy.
Huh? Well, yeah, of course that's me. I'm my mama's boy. What's so funny? Isn't every son their mama's boy?
You know what I heard? I heard that Mama's boys are the weakest!
Hey, that's not very good!
The KO trap is a really fantastic episode, which sees the gang captured by Villainous in a room with no windows or doors. He then proceeds to torture them by making them think that the others have been killed/turned to goo.
Gone! Because I told her to go! I just saw my mom! I told her to go first! She's gone! Rad?
What?
Hang on, Rad! I'll get you out of there!
But they were actually just replaced with goo clones.
Didn't think we'd get out of your trap so easily, huh?
Trap? Right, I had Darrow put you all in that trap. Look, a villain of my stature, you have so many people to torment at any given moment, you'll have to forgive me. I shifted my attention not long ago to installing, antivirus software.
This episode reminded me a lot of a Venture Brothers bit, because Villainous does not really seem to get the cat and mouse game of supervillainy, and is just looking to actually torture and break heroes. He truly is evil.
You're not like Buttman. You're truly evil.
Oh, little KO, I must know. Were you disturbed?
We would also see the final part of the Red Action trilogy, which sees Rad and Red Action bickering more and more as her and Enid get closer and closer and start actually going out.
Would someone mind telling me what's going on here? I just stopped by to invite you jelly surfing when all of a sudden Rad shows up and starts slinging all these insults at me.
Jelly surfing is for squares. I don't make the rules.
You're only saying that because you stink at it!
They do a clever little misdirect where they make you think that at first that the reason Rad is doing all this is because he's jealous and wants to be with Enid himself.
Because I loathed that time she tricked KO into playing in lava, then put it on social media for people to make fun of. and everyone pretends like it never happened. But I remember.
But in reality, he's still upset about how Red Action treated KO in their first appearance.
Good times. Yeah, that was pretty messed up, actually.
We then get a little time travel story to the first season, where Season 3 Red Action confronts her Season 1 self and tells her not to be such a jerk.
What? Seriously? Is this some kind of time travel future fates thing? What happens if I do? Tsunami? Armageddon? It'll give an unimportant person a very bad opinion of you.
Hey!
The episode ends with the Sweet Beach episode, and the first on-screen kiss from Enid and Red Action.
Yeah.
Wow. I support this.
The 100th episode of the show is particularly lore-filled, as it involves the return of Rippy Roo, one of Carol's old Point teammates, who has not gotten any screen time outside of flashbacks.
Yeah, that's my son, KO. Yes, he is a very sweet boy.
This is a great episode to learn just a little bit more about Carol, Point, and her relationship to Laser Blast, which is good because we're about to get a huge reveal in regards to that, which is going to send us spiraling towards the end of the show. But before we can do that, we have to talk about another one of my top 5 episodes of the show. That's right, OKKO had an absolutely spectacular crossover with Sonic the Hedgehog. This is considered non-canon for a lot of reasons, or at least misplaced in the timeline, since the episode takes place more in the status quo of the team working at the bodega. The episode opens with Sonic and Tails arriving at Gar's bodega. Apparently, Sonic got a notice saying that it had the best chili dogs in the multiverse.
Flyer? Wait a minute! That's Daryl!
That's right! We disguised ourselves as a two-dimensional image, and you fell for it! Got him! So long, sucker!
Daryl and Jethro kidnap Enid and Rad, who are sleeping through the whole special, and take them to Boxmoor, and it's up to KO, Sonic, and Tails to rescue them.
Sounds like a certain egghead we know, huh, Tails?
Exactly.
Yeah, he's the worst!
Much like Ghoul School, this is a love letter to Sonic across all franchises, not just cartoons, with references abound. With returning voice actors for Sonic and Tails, and of course Lord Boxman voice actor Jim Cummings being a former Robotnik himself.
Cast those heroes! I hate editing!
It was clearly a project that Ian and other members of the staff wanted to do. They even mentioned in interviews that they had plans to do more crossovers like this and crossover Nexus, but it was never meant to be. Now it's time to talk about the home stretch of the third and final season of OKKO, Let's Be Heroes. This starts with the sudden start of Season 3's big reveal.
So, who's my dad? Laser Blast.
Yes, as obvious as it may have seemed up to this point, Laser Blast was actually KO's dad. But that's not the only reveal that happens in this episode. After learning the news of his newfound lineage, he takes his father's old Laser Blast helmet and goes to confront Venomous.
You don't want to mess with me. I just found out who my daddy is.
That helmet!
Venomous, seeing the helmet and learning it belonged to KO's father, causes him to laugh uncontrollably.
Heard of him? Boy, take a good look. I am him.
No.
He then reveals to KO that he was Laser Blast all along, which, again, the fact that he was played by the same very distinct voice actor should really have been a clue. Anyway, Carol makes her way to the scene to save KO, and he reveals to both of them the circumstances of his change.
I had long grown tired of my mediocrity in point. You always told me I should be content with the powers I already had, but how could you possibly understand when the power you wielded was so vastly superior? A new point would never approve of my efforts to obtain new powers, so in between missions I studied up on bioengineering and conducted experiments in secret.
But when his efforts were found out by Point, he had to try to cover up his work, which led to not only his original powers being taken away, but his death being faked.
Silver
Laser blast!
It's kind of weird to realize that all this time, Carol would have been pregnant with KO that whole time during that whole event. It's hard to judge time with these flashbacks, but Laser Blast did not waste any time. I get it. Anyway, after he escaped, he continued his research, and it led to more mutations of his body and mind, until he realized that all his research could be sold to villains to make more profit for more research. Thus, he became Professor Venomous.
You don't need powers to have power!
The whole episode is just about revealing the twist and backstory, and it ends with an awkward arrangement that leads to Venomous getting joint custody.
How about weekends?
Yeah, whatever.
Which could have led to an interesting dynamic of KO struggling with his good and evil side. Sort of like a El Tigre situation. But we don't have time for any of that. We only have 5 episodes of the show left. We need to get moving. In Let's Get Shadowy, KO and Venomous have a father-son custody day.
Infect the Lakewood water supply with flesh-eating nanites. Or maybe attack the plaza.
Those are all evil.
Of course, I just thought you'd want to see a bit of what your old man likes to get up to, you little scamp.
While Venomous seems like he's genuinely trying to bond with his son, they just don't have anything in common. KO mentions that Shadowy figure has been tormenting him, so Venomous decides to go after Shadowy and finally bring him down.
I think we found something in common, KO. Let's team up to destroy this Shadowy figure.
That's a bad idea.
Think there's no need to be jealous.
That's not what I mean.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. Clearly, Shadowy is also Venomous because they share the same voice actor. So how will this work? Well, it turns out Shadowy is sort of like TKO, an alternate, more evil side of Venomous. Yeah, it's a little confusing. Maybe if they had more time, they could have fleshed this out a little bit more. It makes more sense when you watch it, trust me.
How dare you? I never wanted that Venomous to know, but now you brats have ruined it for me!
When Venomous gets too close to the truth, Shadowy takes over. After a fight, it seems like Shadowy has been defeated, although an episode later, he comes back and takes over completely, resulting in Shadowy Venomous.
What's wrong, TKO? Don't you recognize your dad? Shadowy Venomous?
Look, you really need to watch all of this to know how frustrating and rushed it is. They did the best they could with the circumstances. I assume this was a whole full season's storylines compressed into 2 episodes. Along with Shadowy Venomous, TKO also comes back to take control of KO fully. The 2 of them go on a wave of destruction, and we get another time skip episode in Dendy's video channel, basically condensing another bunch of plot developments into 11 minutes. Which was also part 1 of a 4-part series finale. Shadowy Venomous takes over Boxmoor and kicks out Lord Boxman, who walks off into the sunset again as he feels he has nothing else to give.
What's going on? Daddy has to go. You must find your own way now. You're all free.
I'm going to miss Daddy.
No, I'm going to miss Father the most.
No, I am! Clearly I am!
Which leads to Dendy recruiting the Boxmoor bots to fight for the plaza against Shadowy and TKO, basically becoming the new KO, Rad, and Enid.
What do you say, Sibs? Let's be heroes, Boxbot style! Yeah!
What are you clods waiting for? Get up in here!
Great idea, sister! Dividends!
In the penultimate two-part episode, Let's Fight to the End, the PAL Card Company starts a tournament, and TKO and Shadowy enter to push forward their evil scheme somehow. It feels like the Cell Game saga sort of thing. It's not exactly said that if they win, they'll destroy the world, but it's sort of implied.
I don't plan on giving that up.
We should go.
Right. A lot of butts to kick if I'm gonna be number one.
This 2-episode special is a very condensed tournament arc, with appearances from previous heroes from previous episodes. Rad and Enid joined to not only stop TKO, but also to get KO back to normal. But it's clear that they're not powerful enough, so they get power-ups from Fink.
Time to play by the rules of your own game, TKO.
Get ready, little man.
The two are doing pretty well, actually, with their new powers, but Shadowy Venomous uses the power of the Glorb Tree to give TKO a power boost. That also allows him to nullify the powers of others.
What an unexpected turn of events!
All the heroes try to stop TKO and reach KO to regain control. Even Boxman comes back and forms a giant robot with his children. But it's all in vain.
We need a shield!
It's all yours, Jethro!
I am Jethro!
Come on, put your butts into it!
We're doing it! We're breaking through!
Meanwhile, KO is trying to gain control, and he almost does as TKO begins to lose focus.
No, don't stop now!
Shadowy Venomous gets a little cocky and reveals that he was never intended to be partners with TKO. He was just using him to take over the world.
And once you've fulfilled your purpose, you will do my bidding, and all will bow to me, the most powerful being on the planet!
TKO makes quick work of Shadowy and succeeds in draining the powers of all the heroes at the plaza. All seems lost until KO discovers a buried memory in his own head, an experience he had when he was much younger, when he got upset, and his mother sang him a song to calm him down and cheer him up.
When things go wrong, when you get upset, and life just won't go your way, it makes you wanna cry, shake and shout, sing.
I get it now, TKO. Where's that song coming from?
It's an incredibly sweet moment that shows no matter the sad feelings we may have now, or the bad times we may go through, nothing lasts forever. And if we keep calm and carry on, we can get through to the happy times ahead. This finally allows KO and TKO to have a real conversation and realize what they need to do to work together, and that all this destruction is not the way. This ends with the two finally forming together to create the true form of KO, perfectly balanced.
Took us long enough to figure it out.
KO is of course highly upset by all the damage he's caused, but luckily the president of the universe shows up and declares that since KO technically won the tournament, he gets one wish.
Now that I finally accepted myself, I can live my best life. I wish everybody else got to live their best life too.
And he uses that wish to ensure everyone gets to live their best life, restoring everything to normal. But while this seems to be the end of the show, we still have an epilogue to do, which turns out to be one of the most emotional episodes of TV I've seen in a very long while. Thank You for Watching the show sees KO happily working at the bodega, but he notices something strange.
Life had been great for me so far, but things were about to change.
That was the most amazing mission.
What? Guys! How did I miss out again?
KO, what are you talking about? You were there the whole time.
Yeah, you got a trophy for your bravery.
Time seems to be skipping forward at a rapid pace, and he can't remember events that he seems to have clearly been there for. What follows is a montage of events that seem to be different episode concepts that may have been planned for the future series. KO believes he has to solve this by beating up a powered-up boxman.
Of course, you will never stop me!
So Boxman was behind this.
But the skips are still happening, with Enid suddenly declaring that she's leaving for Witch College.
Can I have a goodbye hug before you go?
Of course, buddy. Come here.
And Rad leaving to lead his home planet's Space Force.
Well, I gotta leave you now, KO. Huh? I'm gonna lead the Planet X Space Force. Blorp!
Even Carol and Gar get married.
Huh? Look, I just have to figure out what's going on soon, or I'll have no time left.
Oh, KO. When you're young, it feels like you've got all the time in the world. But as you grow up, life moves too quick to...
Mom!
This is all clearly a metaphor, not just for how fast it feels to grow up, but dealing with the anxiety of the show ending so quickly, when it felt like there was still so much to do.
This is just how it feels to grow up. Time flashes by in the blink of an eye. Sometimes you're present for it, sometimes you're not. So it's important to remember what you have and enjoy it while it lasts.
What follows is another montage, and one that I love to see in any finale, where we see the future of all major characters of the show. Included Enid and Rad action, starting up a dojo together. Daryl becoming a farmer, Shannon getting her own talk show, Fink becoming a video game champion, and my favorite, Dendy becoming the head of the POW card factory.
Come along, KO. Look at this. Now I run the POW card factory.
Happy birthday, KO!
All this culminates in one last sode, which sees a future Boxmore bot attacking the plaza, and new younger heroes attempting to stop them, only to be saved by a grown-up KO, now level 100. It's an incredibly sweet and emotional finale, showing us what could have been, but also celebrating the stories and characters we all grew to love in this show, and giving us a rushed, yes, but still satisfying ending.
It's the story. I hope you liked it.
Every second that you see is 24 connected pieces. Thank you for coming. Thank you for staying.
Thank you for watching the show.
The show ends with a silent credits sequence, showing a shot of the now empty offices used by the OK KO staff. And that was OKKO, Let's Be Heroes. An amazing show that just seemed to come at the wrong time, leading to it not get what it really deserved. Ian has mentioned that he's fought constantly to get proper merch for the show. DVD sets, figures, even real-life POW cards. But for whatever reason, the suits didn't find it viable. Even now, the show is not available on any streaming site, but you can still find it in various places. Hint, hint, link in description. A show with an incredible amount of potential that was not allowed to thrive. Who knows? If the show came out now, maybe we could have gotten more. Or if this project was done more in an independent sense. But we can't focus on what could have been. All we can do now is appreciate what we were fortunate enough to get, and look forward to the works and projects from these creators that may come next. I want to thank you all for watching this video. This has been a long time coming for me. I took way too long to make this particular video, but I did have fun making it, and I hope you had fun watching it. I hope to make more retrospectives like this as I move to have my channel more focus on more positive aspects of my different pop culture likes, things to celebrate, different things that were, that could have been, and that currently need to be celebrated. If you did like this video, I hope that you will give it a like, comment, and subscribe for more videos to come in the future. I hope to have more in 2025 as the year goes on. This is the One Nerd, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. I hope you're doing all right, and I hope you get everything you ever wanted in life. Thank you.